I still hear her laugh every time I close my eyes. That sharp, fake cackle slicing through the airplane cabin, while my mom's face turned ashen and her hand clutched at her chest. I'm telling this exactly as it happened because I still can't understand how one human being could be that cruel. My name is Arjun. I'm 24, and what I witnessed on that 3-hour flight from Delhi to Dubai changed me forever. We were on Indigo flight 6 times 10 to the power of 247. Mom had complained of indigestion since takeoff, but she kept smiling, waving it off. Beta, it's just gas. Don't worry. I believed her. Then, about 20 minutes into the flight, she suddenly gasped, grabbed my arm so hard her nails dug into my skin, and whispered, Arjun! I can't breathe. Her lips started turning blue. I slammed the call button so hard I thought I'd snap it off. A flight attendant named Priya, in her Navy uniform, rushed over immediately. One look at Mom and she shouted, Code Blue, row 17. 2 more crew members appeared with the medical kit. Priya dropped to her knees in the aisle, checked Mom's pulse, and started oxygen. That's when I noticed a woman in seat 18C. She was already on her feet, arms crossed, staring down at us like we'd personally ruined her day. She looked around 45. Blonde highlights, designer handbag on her lap, gold bangles clinking every time she moved. She rolled her eyes and said loudly, Oh, great, another drama queen. Can't you people just take a pill and sit quietly? Then she laughed. Not an awkward laugh. A real, mocking laugh that echoed. My mother was dying in front of me, and this woman laughed. I turned to her, shaking. My mother is having a heart attack. Stop talking. She smirked. Heart attack? Please. She's just trying to get attention. I've seen this before. Indians always make a scene on flights. I wanted to hit her, but I couldn't leave my mom. Priya looked up and said calmly, Ma'am, sit down now. Karen, because that's what she became in my head, didn't sit. She leaned over the seat and said, You're wasting time on her. I paid for extra legroom. I deserve peace. Move her to the back or something. Right then, Mom let out a weak moan. Her eyes rolled back. Priya pressed the defibrillator pads onto Mom's chest. The entire cabin fell silent except for the machine's beeping and Karen's voice. This is ridiculous. I'm complaining to the airline. You're all incompetent. She pulled out her phone and started recording my mother while she was dying. I snapped. I stood up, tears streaming, and shouted, Stop filming my mother. She laughed again, louder. It's my right. Freedom of expression. You should be grateful I'm exposing this circus. That's when Priya stood up, her face like stone, and said words I will never forget. Ma'am, you're interfering with medical emergency. I am removing you from this aircraft the moment we land. Karen's mouth fell open. You can't do that. I have a connecting flight. Priya didn't blink. Watch me. The next 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. One shock brought Mom's heartbeat back. She was breathing but unconscious. The crew kept working as the captain announced an emergency diversion for medical landing. Karen kept talking nonstop. This is discrimination. I'm a platinum member. I'll sue all of you. That old lady is faking it. Look at her makeup. She's fine. She even tried to push past the crew to get a better angle for her video. Passengers stared. Some filmed her instead. A man whispered to me, Bye. Record her too. This is going viral. I didn't. I just held Mom's hand and prayed. When the wheels hit the emergency runway, the cabin lights snapped on. 2 airport security officers boarded instantly. Priya pointed straight at Karen. That woman. She harassed the patient, recorded a medical emergency, and refused to cooperate. She is not continuing on this flight. Karen screamed, You can't do this. I have a connection. Priya didn't blink. Watch me. As they dragged Karen past me, she locked eyes with me and hissed, Your mother should have died quietly. Would have saved us all the trouble. My blood ran cold. Priya placed a hand on my shoulder and whispered, She's gone. Your mom is going to be okay. We're taking her straight to the hospital. I looked at Mom. She was still unconscious, but her chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm. That's when I broke, right there in the aisle. Not quiet tears, ugly, shaking sobs that tore out of me. Priya wrapped her arms around me. A stranger in uniform held me together while my entire world felt like it was collapsing. And Karen, they marched her off the plane and straight into airport security. Her video never went online. The airline wiped it from her phone before she could post it. In that moment, I truly believed the nightmare was over. I was wrong. The real twist was waiting for me at the hospital. Mom stabilized in the ICU at Civil Hospital Ahmedabad. The doctor said it was a mild heart attack, a blocked artery, but the fast defibrillator shock had saved her life. I sat by her bed for hours, holding her hand, listening to machines hum, Karen's laugh replaying in my head like a broken record. I kept telling myself it was finished. That woman was gone, probably banned. Mom was alive, breathing, but the universe had other plans. Around midnight, a nurse stepped in quietly and said, "Sir, there's a lady outside insisting to see you. She says it's an urgent family matter." I assumed it was some distant relative who'd heard the news. Exhausted, numb, I walked out into the corridor, and there she was. Karen, same blonde highlights, same gold bangles. But now she wore a hospital visitor badge. She looked different, smaller somehow. Her eyes were red, swollen, like she'd been crying for hours. I froze. "What the hell are you doing here?" My voice came out low, sharp, dangerous. She didn't smirk. She didn't roll her eyes. She looked down at the floor and whispered, I need to talk to you. Please. 5 minutes. I wanted to scream, call security, have her dragged out again. But something in her face stopped me. She looked broken. I nodded toward the waiting area. "Talk fast." We sat on hard plastic chairs under flickering tube lights. She clutched her handbag like a shield. Then she started speaking, her voice trembling. "My name is Rachel Mehta. I was born in Mumbai. My maiden name was Rachel Shah." I stared at her, confused. She continued, 2 years ago, I married an American man, moved to the U.S., changed everything about myself to fit in, the accent, the clothes, the attitude. I buried my old life so deep, I almost forgot it existed." My fist clenched. "Why are you telling me this?" She took a deep breath. "Because the woman in that ICU bed, the one with a heart attack, is my older sister." She swallowed. "Your mother, Sunita Arjun Shah, she's my blood." The world tilted. I let out a bitter laugh. "You're lying. My mom has no sister in America." She told me everything. Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "She didn't tell you because I broke her heart. When I was 20, I ran away with my boyfriend against everyone's wishes. Intercommunity marriage. Big scandal. My father disowned me. Your grandfather never forgave me." She looked down. "Sunita did try to keep contact. She wrote letters. Sent photos when you were born. I never replied. I was ashamed. I thought if I became fully American, the guilt would disappear." My stomach turned. "So you recognize her on the plane?" She nodded, crying openly now. The moment I saw her face in row 17, I knew. Same eyes, same smile. I hadn't seen her in 25 years, but blood doesn't lie. Her voice cracked. When she collapsed, I panicked. I thought if I acted like I hated her, like she was just some stranger causing a scene, no one would ever connect us. I laughed because if I didn't laugh, I would have screamed. I stared at her in disbelief. "You mocked your own sister while she was dying. You recorded her. You told me she should have died quietly." "I know," she sobbed. "I'm a monster. I've been a monster for years." Seeing her like that shattered everything I built. When they removed me from the flight, I didn't fight for my connection. I came straight here in a taxi. I've been sitting in this hospital since evening, too scared to go inside. A doctor walked past, glancing at us suspiciously. I stood up, shaking with rage and confusion. "You think tears fix this? You abandoned her. You abandoned all of us." She reached into her bag and pulled out a faded photograph. Two teenage girls stood arm in arm on a beach, laughing. One was unmistakably my mom, 20 years younger. The other was Rachel. Same nose, same dimples. Undeniable. I kept this photo all these years, she whispered. It's the only thing I brought from India. I look at it every night and hate myself. Today the universe forced me to face it. My throat burned. She might not even want to see you. I know, Rachel said softly, but I have to try, even if she screams at me, even if she tells me to leave forever. I need to say sorry while she's still here. Just then the ICU door opened. A nurse peeked her head in. Arjun Beta, your mom is awake. She's asking for you. I glanced at Rachel. She was trembling. My mind raced, my chest tight. I made a decision that still haunts me. Wait here, I told her. I stepped back into the ICU. Mom was propped up slightly, frail but alive. She gave me a weak smile. Beta, water? I handed her a sip. Then, barely audible, she asked, was there a woman on the plane? Blonde hair making noise? My heart stopped. Mom closed her eyes. A single tear rolled down her cheek. I recognized that laugh. It was Rachel's laugh. My little sister. Even after all these years, I knew it instantly. I couldn't speak. Mom opened her eyes again. Is she still here? I nodded slowly. Mom's hand squeezed mine weakly. Bring her, before I change my mind. Bring her now. I walked out dazed. Rachel was still sitting there, head in her hands. I stood in front of her. She wants to see you. Rachel looked up, face streaked with tears. What? She whispered. She recognized your laugh. She wants you to come in. Rachel stood slowly, like her legs might give out. Together, we walked toward the ICU door. My mind screamed. This woman had almost killed my mother with her cruelty. But my heart remembered the photo. The two sisters laughing on a beach, arms around each other. At the door, Rachel stopped. Her voice broke. Whatever happens in there, thank you for giving me this chance. I didn't answer. I just pushed the door open. What happened next between the two sisters? After 25 years of silence, pain, and one cruel laugh on a plane, no one else could ever fully understand. But it changed everything. Rachel stepped into the ICU like she was entering a courtroom, knowing the verdict was guilty. Monitors beeped steadily around Mom's bed. The lights were dim. The air smelled of antiseptic and fear. Mom's eyes locked on her sister immediately. 25 years melted away in one heartbeat. Rachel stopped at the foot of the bed, hands trembling. Deed. The word cracked, stuck in her throat for decades. Mom didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just stared. Then, softly, you laughed at me while I was dying. Rachel dropped to her knees on the hospital floor. The gold bangles clinked against the tiles. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was scared. I thought if I pretended you were a stranger, the pain would stay buried. But it didn't. It exploded. I hated myself the second I did it. Mom's eyes filled with tears. You left us. You left me to deal with Ma and Papa alone when they were angry and heartbroken. I wrote you letters for years. You never answered once. I was a coward, Rachel whispered. I thought if I cut you out completely, I could start fresh. But every Diwali, every festival, every time I heard Hindi anywhere, I felt sick with missing you. I didn't know how to come back. Silence stretched between them. I stood in the corner, an intruder on something sacred and fragile. Then Mom reached out one weak hand. Come closer. Rachel crawled forward on her knees until she could hold Mom's hand. Both of them wept silently, tears speaking more than words ever could. Mom spoke again. Do you know what hurt the most on that plane? Not the heart attack. It was hearing your laugh and realizing you'd become someone who could mock a dying woman. I thought I'd lost my little sister forever. Rachel pressed Mom's hand to her forehead. I became someone I didn't recognize. The American accent, the attitude, the cruelty. It was armor. Seeing you collapse stripped it all away. I've been sitting in that waiting room, praying you'd live long enough for me to beg forgiveness. Mom looked at her long, and finally said something that stunned me. I forgave you the moment I recognized your laugh. Only my Rachel could laugh like that. Sharp, loud, impossible to ignore. I knew you were hiding behind it, just like when we were kids, acting brave when you were scared. Rachel let out a sob that sounded like her soul breaking open. I don't deserve this. No, Mom replied. You don't. But family isn't about deserving. It's about choosing to love anyway. I felt tears streaming down my own face. I had spent hours hating this woman, wanting her to suffer. And now I watched my mother hand her redemption on a silver platter. Rachel looked at me for the first time since entering the room. Arjun, I know you hate me. You have every right. I treated your mother, my sister, like garbage at her worst moment. I don't expect you to forgive me ever. I swallowed hard. I don't know if I can forgive the laughing, the filming, the cruelty. That's going to take time. But I see you're not the same person who got dragged off that plane. And if Mom can open the door after 25 years of silence, I can at least leave it unlocked. Rachel nodded, fresh tears falling. Then she turned back to Mom. Can I stay just until you're better? I'll sleep on the floor if I have to. I've canceled my entire trip. I don't care about anything else. Mom squeezed her hand. Stay. But no more armor, Rachel. No more pretending. Be my little sister again. The one who stole my lipsticks and blamed the neighbor's cat. Rachel laughed through her tears. A warm, familiar laugh. I still have your red Revlon from 1999 in my drawer at home. Never opened it. Couldn't bear to. Mom smiled for the first time since waking. A real, tired, beautiful smile. Bring it next time you visit. We'll both wear it and take a selfie like old times. The nurse entered, gently reminding us that visiting hours were over. Rachel stood slowly, still holding Mom's hand, afraid it might vanish. I'll be right outside all night, every night. Mom nodded. Good. Tomorrow I want idli sambar for breakfast, and you still me 25 years of gossip. As Rachel walked toward the door, she paused by me. Thank you, she whispered, for bringing me in. You saved more than just your mom today. I didn't answer. I didn't look away. 3 months later, Mom is home in Delhi, recovering beautifully. Rachel temporarily moved into our guest room. That was 2 months ago. Her suitcases are still unpacked. She cooks terrible pasta, but perfect idli. Now, she and Mom stay up late watching old Gujarati serials, laughing until they cry, sometimes cry until they laugh. I still get flashes of anger remembering the flight, the laugh, the phone recording, but then I see Rachel helping Mom with physiotherapy or arguing over which Annie makes the best sweets, and the anger softens. Blood is thick. Time is a healer. And sometimes the cruelest moments force open doors that were nailed shut for decades. That flight from Delhi to Dubai never reached Dubai for any of us, but it brought my mother and her sister back from the dead. Not physically, but emotionally. And for that, even on my worst days, I am grateful. If you've ever lost someone to silence and gotten them back, you know there's no twist more powerful than forgiveness you never thought possible. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe. Every subscription motivates me to bring you more dramatic HOA stories. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you next time, where justice gets even more satisfying.